that we're talking about here, and one of the speakers talked about the derailments and CSX's poor safety record. I took the trouble, since it was mentioned, and it had been on the news lately, of looking into the disaster that happened in Canada, and where 47 people died and several city blocks were leveled. And I overlaid that accident on a map of DC. And Mr. Mayor, if you just take, and of course the conditions may not be the same, I'm just taking what happened in Canada and overlaying it in DC. And if you do that, and you take the blast radius of what happened in Canada, then the entire neighborhood where we live would be leveled by a fireball. If you further look at where the flames reached in Canada, they would reach all the way to the House of Representatives. That would engulf all the Capitol buildings for the House staff and the congressmen. Now, we haven't received enough information from CSX because of the lack of transparency in this process to know if this is what we're being asked to live with. Maybe not. Maybe the blast radius is smaller and they only expect 30 of us to die and 500 to get burned. But this is an important question for us to have answered before we move forward in this process.
Hopefully it's obvious, but I'll say it anyway, that we're not going to approve a set of conditions that are going to imperil anybody. There's no deaths or no injuries that would be acceptable in this. So that's a set of conditions that there's no way we would buy into something like that. So thank you very much for that. As a part of this, we'll work with CSX to understand what their answer to a question like that is.
I appreciate that, Mr. Mayor, because CSX in the meeting we had with Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton said that they would be transporting, quote, unlimited amounts of raw crude through this tunnel. And this right here, sir, is what happens when raw crude derails. Yeah.
I don't know if there's somebody from CSX who wants to respond to this. That's not a DC. If somebody wants to respond to it, fine. If not, we'll work with CSX to get an answer to it and get it back to folks.